Hi, my name is Isabelle Santa, and this is my climate story. So, growing up, I spent a lot of time outdoors, and I was lucky to have a big backyard along with a family that respected nature and being outside. I loved watching animal documentaries and learning about nature so that I could tell other people about how fast cheetahs run or how there are different layers in the rainforest, and each has its own rhythm. I wanted to share what I knew about the world because it fascinated me. I remember being angry watching the deforestation of the rainforest, but it wasn't until later that I realized the effects these actions had on the climate. The first time I ever heard about our climate getting warmer was when I was about 8 years old, and I asked my mom a simple question. My grandparents had just gone to Glacier National Park, and I was curious about what the glaciers looked like. My mom responded by saying that the glaciers would be gone by the time I was 19 years old because our planet is warming up and they wouldn't be around for much longer. Thinking back, that seemed like a lifetime ago. 19 was so far away, and I thought I could still definitely see the glaciers. And I waited for that moment to come. But the truth is that time slips by like water. I'm 19 now, and I still haven't seen the glaciers. But I do know that climate change is a very real threat and now a mainstream media buzzword that everyone is talking about. Recently, I learned that in order to be considered a glacier, the area of ice has to be about 25 kilometers across. In 1850, near the end of the last ice age, there were 150 glaciers in Glacier National Park. In 2015, only about 26 remained. Today, they're all melting. Scientific models predict that Glacier National Park will be glacier-free by 2030. And while that still gives me a few more years, I feel a sense of sadness at what has not been taken care of and what we have lost forever on our planet. But to be completely hopeless is not helpful. And though I do get a lot of anxiety thinking about the future, it is hard to know what is certain. Glacier National Park is just one visible example of the change occurring on our planet. But climate change is also affecting so much more than we can see. Yet, I have a deep sense of hope that we can make the world a better place. I believe there are enough people to make it better. We may all come from different points on the globe, but we all call the same place home. In the future that I know can be possible, we come together as a collective whole and value the diversity of people because we are all equal. And there is so much to live for and experience in the short time we are here that money and greed and power can't compete with. A few years ago, my family drove to the Tetons to experience an event seen only every 100 years or so, depending on your location on the Earth, a complete solar eclipse. In our campsite, chairs were set up around each cabin and out in the road so that everyone had a front seat view of this astrological phenomenon. People had come from all over the globe to witness this event, and it was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced. I felt such a deep sense of awe to see forces bigger than the earth at work. You could hear everyone let out their breath as the moon moved completely in front of the sun and the world went dark. It was a wonderful feeling to see a community of strangers coming together for a common wish, to experience the same thing. At that moment, I felt so small. It really hit home that life is a blessing. Sometimes I think back to that moment and it puts into perspective how small we really are. It's a visual I've kept with me and has motivated me to know we can come together and make a collective change. These are just a few of my experiences, but they've given me a reason to keep going, a reason to keep fighting for a better world and a better future for my generation and generations to come. I know from firsthand experience we are all on this journey of life together, and we all have common experiences. I may be 19, but the glaciers are not gone yet. And although we need to act with urgency, if we work together, there is still time to make a difference.